What's happening? Tim with Nomad Trading. Happy Thursday, guys. Hopefully you guys made a whole bunch of money today in the markets. We're going to talk about EVK, SQBG, KBSF, Intel, TC. Yeah, just a bunch of tickers that I see that are kind of getting a bunch of eyes on them, a bunch of attention today. The momentum plays of the day, as well as a couple of things that kind of stick out to me. We'll talk about technical analysis and where these stocks are today and where we think they might be headed in the future. If you like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you so much for the support, everybody who has given me support so far. I really appreciate it. We're over 1,400 subscribers, so that's awesome. Nomad Nation is growing, so thank you guys so much. Comment down below with videos you'd like to see in the future or things you'd like me to cover. I answer every comment personally. You can also email me at nomadtradinglife@gmail.com. Without further ado, let's jump over into the computer and look at some of these stocks. Okay. TC, I'm just going to talk about this briefly. This is one I did not trade. It is basically halt roulette. That's what I've come to call these halt plays, these ones that just get halted. Every time you see this line right here, that's a halt. So halt after halt after halt, halts on the way up, halts on the way down. It's just basically halt roulette in my mind, or you know, halt gambling, whatever you want to call it. You're kind of buying it, and then it gets halted, and then you're sitting there on your hands, scared to death of which direction it's going to move when it comes out of the halt. So if you're going to play a stock like this, make sure that it's, in my opinion, the first couple halts are the best time. After that, it's really risky, even more risky, that you could be walking into a stock that comes out of the halt and shoots down, as we see here. You just never know where the top's going to be. This thing could have kept going right back down, so be very careful. Use smaller size, you know, that sort of stuff. If you're new to trading, be careful when they're getting halted over and over and over again, especially on this one's on really low volume, so only 5 million shares traded today. So a halt play with only 5 million shares traded is especially dangerous. Somebody taking a big position or getting out of a big position could very easily be single-handedly taking that stock up or down. Then we're going to look at EVK. EVK was probably the momentum play of the day, or the stock with the most eyes on it for momentum day traders. Traded 150 million shares. As of now, it's up 111% on the day, and that's after fading the entire day. So there were some opportunities to make money on this right out of the gate. Pre-market over here, what we're looking at is a 1-minute chart. Pre-market comes out of the gate and fades. Pre-market all the way down, and then market opens. So you'll see this quite a bit with the momentum trades, the low float trades that I like to look at. It's not uncommon for them to be fading pre-market and then to rocket up at open. It's something I look for, and you can too. So right out of the gate there, if you'd taken a position long right there, or if you waited for it to cross the 50 or the 200 moving average lines, or the breakout past this pre-market high here, it would have been a great trade. It stayed above VWAP at that point, went up $2. Then you get a gigantic drop. At that point, I'd be getting a little scared, because as you can see, it tried to curl up a little bit, and then more big 1-minute drops. We've been seeing this a lot lately too. There's been a lot of stocks lately with huge 1-minute drops. Not that it doesn't always occur, because we've seen it for years, but it just seems like lately stocks have been pretty heavy, and I think it's probably a result of the market uncertainty with the stimulus uncertainty and the Congress and all the stuff that's going on with the market. Has been very up and down, roller coaster, sideways move currently because of all that, and I think it's affecting the momentum plays as well on some level. People not as willing to hold the stocks as they might have been during the giant bull run of the markets. But anyway, it did curl back up and then came back down to test VWAP. At that point, you could have done a trade off the VWAP bounce, and that would have worked out very nicely, because it came back, almost touched VWAP at $4, and then went all the way up above 6. So it would have been a very nice bounce play there. Can't remember if I called that out in my live scanner thing this morning in the YouTube chat or not. But anyway, would have been a good play there. Did not take it though. Then pretty much faded the rest of the day. So the opportunity would have been more to the short side at that point. Then we're going to look at. We can try to figure out also where this is headed. I would say it's going back down to earth. It has a history though since yesterday after hours of spiking up, falling back down, fading, spiking up, fading back down, spiking up, fading back down, spiking up, fading back down. So if I was going to guess, I would say since it's kind of in this range where there's a bit of consolidation, maybe we'll see one more spike, possibly in the morning, and then a fade down. But it very well may also just open up and go down because we're looking at basically day 3 since the move kind of started in after hours over here. Then we got SQBG. This one rocketed out of the gate, went all the way up from under $6 to it went up over $10. It was at $17 pre-market. So then it comes out and it opens up and it ends up getting halted. Let's see, was it the 1 minute? Yeah, the 1 minute at market open. It gets halted on market open, and this is again kind of ties into what I was talking about, halt roulette, where the stock gets halted, and in this case, it opens and just instantly drops. That's a very scary feeling if you've never been there, if you're new to trading, that you don't want to experience, but you probably will if you trade for any long amount of time. You will probably find yourself in that situation where you're in a halt and it drops and then it gets halted again and then you're really scared because at this point the stock's up at $14 and it was under 6. So at that point you're really worried that it could drop multiple dollars, even more when it unhalts. In this case, people got kind of lucky, got opportunities to get out. So hopefully if you were trading this, you had opportunities here to get out of your long trade. Then the opportunity was more to the short side. I did take a trade here. I was out of my office pretty much this whole day, but I leave my scanner going on live on YouTube in case anybody wants a scanner or wants to see the momentum plays as they're popping up on the scanner. And anyway, I've got back in the office just in time to see this as it was starting to break this level right here. And I had drawn a trend line on there down, and as it broke out of that downtrend, and then it came to break that level, it tested it there, and then it started to break it here. So I took a trade on that. Was looking for it to go to the 50 moving average, which it did perfectly. That trade worked out nicely for just a tiny little scalp, but I mean that move right there was 972 to 1050 or so. The peak of it, if you caught the peak, would have been over $1. So that little move there, over $1 a share gain, if you caught it perfectly, which I did not. I caught it for like 40 cents or something a share, but still decent little winner. Called it out in the chat, worked out great. Now it's faded back. Probably again, if the markets are favorable in the morning, we may see a spike out of this one as well because it has the ability to really move. When a stock can go up $10, in a few minutes, you can end up getting a spike on day 2 in the morning as well, especially if it can get some volume. This has 20,500,000 shares traded roughly, so not as much volume as I would like, but it did move nicely. Let's see what Reebok collaboration. So it had the catalyst with it as well. So we'd like to see a stock that can move like that kind of volatility, and then get some volume and a decent catalyst, and then once in a while you get a move on day 2. We'll see if it can or not. I mean, it did fade all day basically, so we'll see. But hopefully it bounces here in the morning and gets a little move and then fades back down. That's one though, honestly, with that with Reebok in the name of the catalyst, and I haven't researched it, so I don't really know if it's that strong of a catalyst when you really dig in. But if it is, maybe you'll get a decent day 2 move or a day 3 move. Judging by the action today, kind of leads me to believe that maybe it was a little bit more fluffy and they used the Reebok name to get the stock to spike a little more than maybe it should have. But it does have a history over here of going again from a few dollars to let's see, $25. Yeah, a few dollars to over $25 in a matter of a few days. So we'll just have to wait and see. It's one to keep on the watch in any case, because at least it's still kind of in this consolidation range here that we see, and it is above on the daily. It is above the 200 moving average. That's kind of right where it's sitting. So maybe we'll get a day 2 move on it. That'd be cool. KBSF. This is one, again, that we see a lot of the time likes to spike up and fade down, spike up and fade down. It's just got a history of doing that. I did alert this one on my live scanner YouTube video as a broke VWAP. It was the only stock that I was kind of seeing at the very end of the day, the end of the trading day, that was kind of perking up. And I said in the chat, if this thing can hold and test VWAP, it could rocket up into close. And you know, it did a lot more than I even thought it could. I would have been out at this 350 range, but you know, that's just me being conservative. It ended up going all the way to 460 something after hours. So it would have been a great winner, and yeah, it worked out perfectly. It kind of popped through VWAP with some volume, got some nice volume, tested VWAP for just a second, and then boom, rockets off into close. So that would have been a really good trade to take there. Other than that, not too many good opportunities because it faded pre-market, didn't really convincingly break VWAP until this point here, and then again it didn't really hold it. So you know, you could have took a trade right here as it broke through VWAP, but to me it would have been a risky trade that I probably wouldn't have taken, because it had resistance there, and then again all the way up here with that. So it would have had to show some good strength. Not as much risk reward, but curling late day, also you're looking at midday. Curling up late day right into close is a little bit better setup. You want, if it's breaking VWAP and you're getting volume right into close, the last few minutes into close, that's a good sign, and a lot of times that's when you can get a nice big move, as we saw with that. Intel, this one I called out in another chat group that I'm in, that to me seems oversold. The earnings were basically the sales, the chip sales missed expectations by like 7%, but overall not really. I didn't think anyway, reading it, that it was as disappointing to justify the drop that we see here. So to me, it seems like it could have a decent bounce, and we are seeing that. When I called that out, it was down here churning around 48.50, and I thought it might curl up and maybe get at least to this 49.50 range and test this little spot here, and I do think that that is possible. So hopefully it'll keep curling and that will happen, and we could even see a bigger bounce than that. I wouldn't be shocked, because if you look at the daily chart, we're getting down in here where there's a lot of days that it was churning and building support in the 48 to 50 range, like all the way over here, all the way over here. So we're kind of in that range now. Hopefully that will hold up, and maybe we can see a bounce off of that. Have to wait and see. The SPY, like I said, it's been a roller coaster the last few days. If you look at it on the 1 minute or a smaller time frame and spread it out over the last few days, you can see that it's basically just churning up and down in this range while the news comes out. There'll be a senator, McConnell or somebody will make a comment that's positive in relation to stimulus, and Pelosi will make a negative one, or vice versa. Like today, I think Pelosi came out and said that stimulus talks are nearing the end, and then they're going up. The markets are going up because of that. So basically, the market's trying to wait and see, is there going to be stimulus before the election, or is that just a dream that's not going to happen? So they're churning back and forth while we wait to see the final outcome. If they come out and say stimulus hopes are dead and it's over till after the election, then I expect the market to start heading down. if they come out and say that it's approved, and we look to get stimulus checks out before the election, or not necessarily checks out before election, but at least get it passed before the election. Maybe checks out, the first round of checks or something. Depends how fast they move. But then I expect the market to head towards highs. Wouldn't be at all surprised to see it back up here in the 350s if that happens. It also has the 50 moving average that it's bounced off of perfectly today, and pretty close to a few days ago. So you got that as support, and you do have support here in that range anyway. So hopefully that will happen. Get some stimulus talks and get the market to go up even more. That'd be awesome. That's about all I got. If you like this video and you made it this far, thank you so much for the support. Comment, like, share, whatever. I appreciate it. Do more videos like this in the coming days. Thank you so much. Have a great evening. If you made it this far, first of all, I just want to say I love you. You must have liked the video, so make sure you give me that thumbs up, subscribe, notifications on, of course, and then click on one of my videos to the side. If the YouTube algorithm is doing its job, there should be one over there. If not, just go to my page and check it out. Thanks for watching. Peace.